Alright guys, this is going to be a great video. We're going to see if Conrad can successfully teach me how to make a deadfall trap. His Sears training in the Marines and some of our friends, we love Corporal Kelly, gave us the idea yesterday. We're snowed in Tennessee, doesn't take much, but everything's shut down. So I said, let's go do something for the YouTube channel. So the tricky part is in designing your trigger. So we saw Corporal Kelly do this trigger that Conrad said that is way cool. So we are going to do that today. Let's see if we can't make this easy enough for us to feel like we can trap some food if we needed to. So I figured the biggest challenge was going to be able to find a deadfall log or a rock. We're going to go down the creek, see if we can find some more, unless Conrad just wants to use this one. But then as soon as we turned the corner, our son-in-law got us this beautiful big old log, thinking my husband would do something cool with it. Look at that. It doesn't, and that sucker is heavy. That would kill a rabbit. Because we were thinking squirrel or whatever, but that would kill a rabbit.
That's your perfect game for killing in the woods.
Alright, so we might just use that. That's pretty heavy though. Yeah. What do you want to do? You want to?
Let's go find two perfect sticks for our trigger.
What do you think, Todd? What do you think, Boo? You okay? Good girl. You're all right. You okay? She normally wears a not shock collar, but a electric fence, and so she thinks she's on. See, it's okay. No collar. You're all right. You're okay. Come on. Good girl. Good. Then when she knows she's free from it, she's like, ta-da-ta-da! Oh, there she goes. What are you doing?
You remember this tree being broke out here and laying down like that?
I don't. Is this important?
It might be these twigs are frozen solid. Might make it help us or hurt us.
Start our wood pile there. Going to build a big fire pit right here in this almost flat spot. And you see the deck up there. We're going to build the deck out to the back so we have some sun exposed area for decking. Because the backyard's kind of useless. It slopes down quickly and just gets steeper. So you're going to have to create usable space back here. So Conrad said we're starting off by cutting down to the right length. Which is what, babe?
Oh, about a foot tall.
Can I see? Okay, good.
I've used a lot of different kinds of triggers over the years, and the most famous trigger on a deadfall trap is the figure 4, which is kind of a pain in the butt because you have to take 3 pieces of wood and get them all notched out just right. And they're a hairpin trigger, which is, if they can be bumped or blown, the wind can blow them and knock them down. But I watched Corporal Kelly with this other trigger. I'm going to show you how to do it real quick if I can successfully repeat it. But basically, you just take a piece of stick. This is going to be your trigger right here. You're going to put a notch, cut your wood about halfway through right here. Then you're going to go turn it over 180 degrees and go about an inch and a half or so away and do the exact same thing. That's about it. Hey, we have success.
Nice.
So
okay.
Now after you bust your trigger in half, you've got 2 equal notched out. Now we're going to take a knife and clean that all up real good.
1 second. Let me see this real quick. Stop right there. Cool. Rounding the ends to have some dig into the ground?
No, it's just if they're too flat, then it's just more friction on your trigger. That if it sits flat on the ground, it's less likely to trip real easily. If you round the ends off, they'll roll a lot better.
Nice.
It helps understand the mechanics of everything you're doing, even when it's super simple, because a lot of times the person that's been doing it forever doesn't forget why he does some of the things, or does forget why he does some of the things. He just does it because it's habit. It doesn't explain why he's doing this or that.
Yep.
Alright, so now once you get, this is basically, you're going to take one of your ends, doesn't matter which one, and just cut off about a 1/4 inch of that.
Chad wants to no, don't take our stick. Chad, no. He's just wanting to take your stick to this. Our dog just took our trigger. So he just left that little piece right there off the end of.
That way, when your trigger, this is going to be your trigger.
Sorry, I couldn't catch it.
You cut off a 1/4 inch. That way, when you're sitting, they're not resting on each other completely. It gives a lot of freedom to movement.
Okay.
Right there.
Cool.
So this is your trigger. And it's very simple, easy to make. Took me about 2 minutes.
Cool. So Connor's taken some twine and tied it to an anchor behind the deadfall trap. Suppose you can use anything you want. He's just basically holding the trigger in place, right?
Well, it's when you set your deadfall down, it keeps your rope tight. That way, your rope becomes your entire trigger point. Any place that touches that rope, if you don't have something tight behind it, your rope's just going to slide out of there. So you can tie it to anything, but basically, with this kind of trap, the way you set this rope up, you can tie your bait anywhere along this. You know, all they do is touch that rope and pull on the bait, and it'll set this deadfall off. Let that become your trigger point. Like you said, maybe because of our deadfall is too heavy, it's putting too much stress on that joint.
So Corporal Kelly, go check him out. He's got some great advice, except for being a nutrition person. He eats too much bacon. You watch his shows. Conrad's laughing behind me.
A little bit off with the knife a second ago, so it's not sitting flush on this part.
Gotcha.
Let's tie it up here and see if we can get it to work this time.
Yeah, it's 15 degrees out here. Get on. Good girl. Good girl. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. There is a deadfall trap. Shall we see if you triggered, if it's going to work? Sorry, he's walking in front of me.
So there is the deadfall. You can use any kind of log or rock, whatever, as your top, just something. This is your trigger switch right here. This string is attached to this broken stick right here. You can put bait, preferably the further back the better here. But once that string is pulled, with bait, that falls right on top of a squirrel, a rabbit, whatever you're trying to catch.
How hard you pull on that?
Not really.
Good.
Didn't take a lot of pressure.
All right, so that's that. So All right, so this is going to conclude Conrad's deadfall trap. He's going to take you from the beginning. Go for it, babe.
Okay, so here's a piece of log or a rock, whatever you want to use, something heavy. It's got to be heavy enough to trap the animal into there and kill it. But you stick your 2 sticks that we've already showed you how to make. There's your cuts right there. It's 1 stick. You cut 2 serrations in, and that becomes that's your trigger mechanism right there. So we're going to tie a string to this into a stick or something that you're going to set behind your deadfall. That's something to keep pressure on your trigger mechanism. So we're going to set this over here. Your deadfall rock, log, whatever. It's going to sit right on top of that string. Now you just take your trigger, put your 2 pieces back together. So this is going to be your bait string. Tie it, somehow secure a piece of bait, some corn or something. You can sprinkle stuff all around it, something to attract an animal under there. Just lean that over so that sits at about a 90 degrees.
Hold on while Conrad answers this
There you
phone.
go. Your trap is set now with your bait already. Set your bait in there.
There it is. Bada bang, bada boom.